This conference will now be recorded.
Suddenly today morning they said that current will not be there.
Yeah,
It creates problem. Anyway, we can see this particular scenario right now. Last time we were speaking about the concept of any unit framework, and we saw what is tear down setup and what is one-time tear down and one-time setup. That is what we saw last time, right? Let it load properly. Okay. So what we need to do is that couple of things. This is order number one. Where is that? So order number one is send mail. So I will create a send mail scenario. I will create a send mail scenario. I will see it is running at commented right now. And let's start creating it. The first thing that I need to do, I have to use the implicit wait. Very implicit wait. Whenever you are using actually this find element method, you should actually use implicit wait. So I have not used it in one time setup. I have not used navigation column setup, there is a find element. So it is definitely you should use implicit wait after you navigate. So I'll use implicit wait out here. One is this thing is important, which is part of the coding behavior, general coding behavior as far as your framework is concerned. The other behavior is the page load timeout. That is also very important. By default, the page load timeout is infinity. But you cannot wait for infinity if your backend servers are not working fine. Can't wait for infinity for the page to load in your browser. So you give a timeout period. If then within this timeout period the web page does not load, give you a timeout exception. So driver dot uh, manage method manage timeout method, and you are going to basically use the implicit wait as the property, and you can take this time span. You have to use the time span interfaces dot from seconds and how many seconds do you want to use from seconds method, and you give how many seconds do you want to maximum wait, 20 for example. So in this timeout period, if this element so it will be implied implicitly in all these codes wherever you have used find element or find elements method. That is how the wait interface works. The implicit wait interface works, rather implicit wait works, rather speaking. So it will work in all the codes where you use find element or find element. So it will wait for 20-second maximum for this element to be visible, 20-second for this element, 20-second for this. Any point of time, let's say this element is found out in 2 seconds, it is not going to wait for another 18 seconds because the maximum time for this 20 seconds. It will go to the next line of the script. The implicit wait is part of your dynamic wait. Okay, it's not like your thread dot sleep. We should make the thread to sleep for that particular time period that you define. We generally use thread dot sleep out here. Okay, with the threading part. So thread dot sleep, if you understand it, here is what is a thread dot sleep. If you use thread dot sleep method, what is this? What is the difference? This is a static wait. So maximum time period is 20 seconds. Static wait means what? Static wait means this is static wait. Static wait is nothing but even if the element is found out, so it will wait for only this element. So 20 seconds will wait, then find out this element. This is basically used for synchronization purpose, definitely. But this is not going to be implied for all the elements. First understanding. Second understanding is that let's say the element is found out, this element is found out in 2 seconds. It will still wait for 18 seconds. And that is going to take memory space and resources of your computer, which is not good. That is why static wait is not good. Okay, so that is why we should only use static wait under those circumstances where we are navigating from one page to another, not for finding elements. So finding elements, implicit wait is good, which is part of your wait interface. Why it is good? Because it's dynamic wait. If the element is found out, and how does dynamic weight? It will be implied on all the find element or find elements methods wherever you use in this particular code present in this method body. This is the method body. So this will be implied in all the find elements coding lines. Now let's say it is found out, this element is found out in 2 seconds. It's not going to be another 18 seconds because the maximum time period is 18 seconds. So it is going to basically save you 18 seconds. Let's say this element is found out in 4 seconds. It's not going to wait for another 16 seconds. It'll go to the next line of the script. That is what implicit wait is, just part of your dynamic wait. Please remember and understand this particular difference. Okay, let me remove this. So only use thread.sleep when you're navigating from one page to another. That is where we use thread.sleep. I'll comment it right now. This is just for your understanding, so I'm not removing it. Okay, now implicit wait is important. So this is page load time mode is already defined out here. I'm sorry, I already defined it. But you know the behavior of it. Here I have to use something called page load time mode. Page load time mode is there. It's again a property. 20 seconds maximum. So in this 20 seconds, if this page does not load, what is going to happen? It will show you timeout exception. Okay. So wherever I have used find element, I will use implicit wait. So have I used in tear down process? Yes, I have used it. It is good to use implicit wait here also. Then. Have I used in the test? I will have to use it. So let's understand that the first thing that I will do is give the implicit wait in both these scenarios. Let's do this console dot sending mail just to understand what is running first. Okay, let's go one step at a time right now. Okay, couple of things more of the NUnit framework. Here is where I am basically going to the Chrome driver, opening the Chrome browser and maximizing the window. Fine. This is a one-time setup. One-time teardown is closing. That's fine. Setup procedure has navigate to Google, then type page load timeout, implicit wait, username. Now remember, your script is not 100% correct automation script if you do not have validations. So validation is part of your automation script. Remember that. And you have to have validation scripts inside your Selenium script. Okay. Without validation, your automation script is not 100% correct. So I need to validate certain things. Now I will validate that the username field is present or not. How will I validate? For example, if I go out here to this particular website, how do I validate that before I type on the username field, I'm actually typing on the username field? So there has to be validation out here. This edit field is present. Then only I will type. I'll validate that the password field is present. Then only I will type on the password. I will validate that the go button is present. Then only I will type. I'll click out here. So validation is part of your automation script. Remember that. And there's a difference between verification and validation. Verifying that the edit box is present. If the edit box is not present, it does not mean it will go to the it will fail the script. Verification will not fail the script. But if the validation fails, let's say the edit box is not present, then it will fail the script. That is the difference. So verification will verify only. That will not fail the script. That means the compilation of your code will not stop if the verification fails. We'll go to the next line of the script. So in very broader terms, you can say verification will not fail the script or the test annotation that you see out here. Being used. This is used in your test annotation. You can use it in setup also. Doesn't matter. But if the validation fails, that means the test annotation will fail or the setup will fail. Okay. So I will show validation failure out here before I click out here. So the validation failure, I will do validation. So validation to check if username field is present. Now, how do I do a validation? So there is a class in NUnit which is used for validation purpose, and that class is called as the assert class. Okay, this assert class has a lot of methods to validate for validation. Now, how will I basically validate that the edit field is present? Let's look and spy upon the edit field. Can't I validate by that the edit field will contain an ID attribute value login one? I can validate by that, right? Because I'm validating the edit field is present or not. Now let's say the edit field has an expected ID value login one or expected name value login. So I can basically validate if there is an attribute called ID whose value is login one or not. Or there is an attribute called name whose value is login or not. So I can validate by the attribute value present in the attribute of the HTML script of the edit field. I can also validate by the text, but there's no text in the edit field. The text is out here, but this text is not part of this particular HTML script. The script for username is different. It is out here. I need to check up if the edit box field for username is present or not. So I can only see that I cannot validate by text. I can validate by the attribute value, what the attribute ID whose value is login1, or by the name value whose value is login. So now I will validate by the attribute. So let's validate username edit box by the attribute value. So I will have a string variable expected ID attribute I will take val is equal to ID attribute is what? You can take any other attribute also. Copy and paste it out here. And then you have to get the actual text. So string actual text. I'll just copy this. Paste it out here. The only thing that we need to change is this should be actual. And this should be equal to driver dot what is this? Dot find element by the X path I will take. What is this? Path. Dot X path X P A T H. Dot get attribute method. And whose attribute do you want to get? You want to get the attribute value of the ID. The next path I can basically take it from here. The attribute X path's attribute is ID, whose value should be within single quotes. Done. And then I can use the assert class. This is the assert class which comes from the NUnit. Assert dot are equal, are not equal, is not null, is false, is true. All methods of the assert class are same. So you can see a lot of methods are there. R equal is true, that, what is that method? Assert that actual value is this, and you have to give the actual value and the constraints that you want to have is false. How do you use that? Boolean condition. This is not a Boolean condition. We have to basically string a string value. So R equal, will this take string object, expected object actual. And this has 5 overloading methods. R equal is having 5 overloading methods. You can see that. These are all methods of the assert class. R equal is true, that is false, is not null. R equal, you can see it is there only. R same, object expected, object actual, string message, and this has +1 overloaded function.
Kaushik, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
One quick question. What does that star indicate there? But it is not present with any methods, no? Sorry,
IntelliCode
few.
suggests this context. IntelliCode means IntelliSense of the ID, Visual Studio.
Okay.
Suggestion given by the IntelliSense of the Visual Studio ID for that particular method. How to use that particular method. Okay, and most of it, if you look at this particular star, it is nothing but it means that these methods are frequently used, so they are put with a star. But these are methods. It is coming in. You can see square, move color square. These are methods, but they are most frequently used. That is what it is saying. Nothing
Okay.
else.
Thanks.
You have catch and all. You can see how many. Does not throw. Contains function. Contains expected actual message and all. You can see that. Now, how do you see the overloading methods of this? How do you see? There are 5 overloaded methods. How do you see those? Assert dot R equal, if I use this. R equal this method. Which method? There are 5 overloading functions of this method. So if you look at assert equal, double expected, there's a double actual, double delta, string message. Which one to use? I want to see all the others. How to see the other overloaded methods? Let's find it out if it is possible. I've forgotten it. Let me check it out if I can get it. Function F5. Let me check it out because I keep on forgetting. I have a fantastic memory. How to see overloaded methods in Visual Studio. I forgot it. Overloaded method. Please place the just after the first bracket. Okay, I'll place the first after the erase it, retype it. Retype it, navigate the method using up and down arrow. Okay. Uh, what did it say? For place the guys just after the first bracket. Okay. Erase it and retype it. You have to erase it. Or equal. That I'm not giving. Or equal. Not give me. Okay, okay, yes. Now the cursor has come. Object expected, object equal is one particular method. This is the second. Double expected, double equal, double delta. Third is this, double expected. Object expected, object equal string message. And then parameters. And fifth is double expected, double delta string message. I will not use double. So I have to use object expected, object equals string message. I'll use this. Expected, first I have to give, so this is the first one. Equal, actual, this is the second one. And if I put the cursor again, let's okay. Let me try to erase it. Put colon. Yeah, I've got it now. Erase colon and then I've got it. So I've used this one. Object is string message. So verify that two objects are equal. Two objects are considered equally both are null, or if both have the same value, have special semantics for object type. If they are not equal, assertion exception thrown. Expected the value that is expected. Message. I can write down the message stating that username field not present. I can stop at that. This is how you can assert. In the same way, if the assertion passes, definitely the this will click. This will type on the username field. And let's see it is working or not. So what I can do is I'll have to go build the solution first. One minute. So hybrid framework. I'll run the test cases. Both have passed. In what particular lesson? Run the selected test case right now. How come it has passed? It should first run order number one, that is send mail. So the assertion has passed, that's why it has passed, I believe so. Running for the second time. Because save mail has to happen, right? So it is clicking on, typing on send username because it has passed. Run finished, output result explorer. Save mail has failed. Why? Remote WebDriver unback, open queue, timeout. 24 seconds. I had given 20 seconds, I believe. So what is the additional timeout thing? Timeout exception. Web page did not open in 20 seconds time period. That is why it has failed. You can see this exception comes up because of page load timeout. Okay. So what I can do is in the test cases, the timeout period I should increase it to 40, 2 on a safer side. Now the assertion is passing, that's why it's clicking, that I can understand one. If I want to fail the assertion, I will remove login one from here. If I fail the assertion, the expected will not match with actual, and then the message will be thrown out. Message will not be thrown out if the expectations matches with the actual. Remember that. This message will not be thrown out if the expectation matches with the actual. But if the expectations is not matching with the actual, then only this message should be thrown out. And this message should be thrown out right now. What I will run the test case once with the send mail. So I will comment this test case for save mail. Just for this purpose right now. To show you a failure on validation failing. So this will not run the test case 2 times, starting from one time setup and then setup and then your test with order number 1, then again tear down, then one time tear down, then again it will open up setup, and then it will open up order number 2, then tear down. All those things not required right now. Just check it once. Let's build it. Let's learn this directly without building it out. I hope I've saved this. Let's save this and then build out. You can see only one test case right now coming because I have commented the save mail. Let's run the selected test case, whatever it is. It should not type in the username field now, according to me. If it types, it is not working. It is not typing. And the assertion has failed at username field because I've just changed the expected result. And you go out here, I need to see the message. Which message? The verification, validation message, username field not present. I need to see it out here. So let's go and check out the text explorer. It has failed. Was 6, string differs at index number 5. Expected login, but was login 1. And where is the message of that? So stack trace is this, test navigation login in test cases, line number 82 is the problem, and 82 line number is this. Assertion has failed. Validation has failed. The compilation is ending at this line. No further compilation of this particular method. The important thing to also see is that where is the message now? Open additional output. Username field not present. That's the message coming out now. This is how you do assertions or validations. So you can understand what I'm trying to say. So right now what I'll do is that I'll make it back to login 1. This will not fail right now. In the same behavior, before I type in the password, I'll do the same validation. So validation to check if the password field is present. Same thing, I'll just copy this. Copy this whole thing. Paste it out here. Let's not waste time on understanding these behaviors. Expected ID attribute value of what? Of this is username. So I'll just call this as of username. Okay, this is a. Let's see what is present out here in the password. Let's check that out. DDF, right? There is the ID attribute. Now I'll go with the name attribute password. Copy this. So I'll say attribute value of password field, and this value is password of password field. Take the XPath of that. Paste it out here. Of the name. You can write down password field is not present. This message will be thrown out if the validation fails. And the validation will pass also. So it will pass, so it will type. And now I have to do a validation of the if the go button is present. So I'll just copy this. Before I click on the go button, I will do the validation. So expected field of go. I don't know if it is, I will validate by attribute or not. I do not know. Let me check it out. If there's a text present, I will validate by the text. Let's go and check it out. There's no text. Text should be always present between the opening tag and the closing tag. The closing tag will be with the forward slash. So I have to again validate by the attribute value. So I can validate by the title sign in. Validate by the attribute value title sign in. I'll copy this first. Go out here and I will expect it is this sign in attribute, not ID attribute. This was name attribute, by the way. This was name attribute, by the way. So I have to change it according to that. And this will be your title attribute. Of the go button, right? And get attribute of the title. And I have to get the XPath of the go button. So XPath is full XPath or absolute XPath. Starts with the HTML tag. 1 minute, guys. I'll just come. Somebody has come. Okay. This will be go button not present. If the go button is not present, so obviously this will not click on the go button. That's fine now. This was a part of the setup process. Tear down also, you are clicking on the logout. This is a logout link. So you have to validate on the logout link also. So test at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can validate that the logout link is present or not. And the logout link, this has any text. This is the closing anchor tag. The text is present between the opening anchor tag and the closing anchor tag. Closing will always have a forward slash. So this logout is present out here. So I can validate by the text right now. So for this tear down process, so I will validate. Now I'll show how do you validate by the text. Same thing, no difference. So I'll have expected string expected text of logout is equal to, within double quotes you give this is the text. I'll just copy this text. Now how to get the actual text? Copy this. Same thing, driver dot find element by the xpath value dot text property, nothing else. Xpath value you should give. Copy the xpath from here. Full xpath. So you can assert with the same part. Let's call this assertion. Expected text. Actual text is this. And if it does not match, then write down logout link not present. You see the same XPath is out here. Then you click on logout link. So this is the validation. How do you do validation? It is important that you have to have validations. Otherwise, your automation script not 100% over. Now I can go to the other part of it. This part. So I need to click on the write mail link. So before I click, I have to do validation. On write mail link. So how do I do validations out here? This is the write mail link. So it is present before in the B, opening B tag, closing B tag. So you can get the text from here by text only. So what I can do is, since I've defined how to validate by the text, using by text I'll write down. I'll copy this funda and paste it out here. Expected text of write mail. XPath you have to take the XPath from here, copy XPath, it's a partial XPath. So if you don't see the right mail link, this is also a criteria to check out that we are not in inbox page. So two validations you can do at one shot. If you do not see the right mail link, that means the right mail link is not present. So right mail link not present. It also boils down to the fact that you are not in the inbox page. So two validations at one time. Then you have to click. So driver dot find element by the XPath dot click method. XPath is the same XPath out here, which I've taken it down. Click out here. So when you click out here, it takes time to open up the web page. So that time period cannot be defined by implicit wait. Here also, for navigating from one page to another, you have to use thread.sleep. When there's an Ajax component coming up, that's the Ajax component coming up when you click on the right mail link. Why it is Ajax component? It doesn't hamper the whole page. Only this area gets hampered. This Ajax component. For Ajax component also, please try to use thread.sleep. So I'll give a delay of, let's say, 10 seconds, not more than enough, to basically open up the Ajax component. So starting wait to handle the Ajax component. And then you can use the concept of your, yeah. Now we have to find out that the to field is present. Validation of the to field. This is where I'm clicking. Now see how it is working first. You are typing something. You have to type. So first of all, you ensure that your cursor is clicking on the to field. So before that, I'll do validation. That's fine. After doing validation, the first thing I will click out here, so that the cursor blinks there. Then I will type at gmail.com. Okay. Then when I click on the enter button, it turns to this particular part. And then the cursor brings still out here. Okay. So I click on the enter button, remember that, on the same area. First of all, validate. Validate by what? Is there the to text present? No. So I have to validate by the attribute value. What attribute value will I take? ID attribute value. You can take this. So validate by attribute. Validate the to field by attribute. That validation I've showed you. Just copy this and do the necessary changes. String ID attribute of 2. This is the value. And I have to get the XPath of this. Attribute value of ID. Then expected, actual, and another to field not present. Oh, and then I have to click on the to field, type, and click again by using the enter button of keyboard. So I'm doing the same stuff. I will click here, type whatever I want to type, and click on the enter button of my keyboard. It will happen like this. Cursor will blink still out here. So this is the XPath. They already have it. So I'll just copy this portion. Dot click method. First is this. Then I will type dot send keys. And then I will basically on the same dot send keys on the same. That is why the XPath is same. On the same address, I'll use keys dot the keys enumerator. Alt add. I'll use the enter button in the keys enumerator. Okay. After enumerating, the cursor will still blink out here. Now I have to click on the subject. Before click on the subject, you have to validate the subject. And how do you validate the subject? By the class value, and this is a compound class value. Why it is a compound class value? There is a space. It is not continuous. There is a space. So compounding or two different values, adding of two different values, and there's a space between them. This is the space. That is called as a compound class value. Compound class values are not supported by class name locating strategy. Compound class values are supported by XPath and CSS selector locating strategy. So I will locate it and validate it by the XPath or CSS selector, not by the class name. Okay, so I will find the attribute value of class. Okay, or we can also basically say any other attributes when type is equal to text is there. But I'll not use this. I'll use this particular behavior. So if you have to validate it, so the validation technique is defined out here. Let's copy this subject field. This has to be subject. Okay, and by the class. Class. And what is this? Is a compound class value. Copy the whole thing. Paste it out here. And get the thing from this XPath. Get the class value from this XPath. Get attribute of the class. Okay, and expected should be equal to actual. If it is present, then click on the to field, type, and click again by using the keys enumerator. So same thing. So XPath is already out here. I'll just copy this part. So I'll click there first, and then type. What I need to type is, let's say this is testing mail. That is what is the subject is. and then use the keys enumerator, the enter button of the keyboard. Right. After that, what I need to do, I have to go to compose. This is the compose area. But before I go to the compose area, I will check that there is a frame out here. So this is a frame. So this compose area is inside the frame. I have to switch to the frame. So I can switch to the frame. I mean, how many ways? By the address of the frame, that is nothing but web element interface. I can switch to the frame by the index number, which I have shown. And I can switch to the frame by the ID attribute value or the name attribute value. I cannot switch the frame by the class. Is there an ID attribute? No. Is there a name attribute? No. There is a class attribute. I cannot switch to the frame by the class. I can switch to the frame by the index number or by the web element, that is by the address. So I have to switch to the frame by the address. I'll take the XPath of the frame. So here I'll take switch to frame by address. So iWeb element address of frame is equal to driver dot find element by the XPath of the frame, and this is the frame's XPath. I can terminate this. This should be present within single quotes. Done. This is the address. Now you can switch to the frame. Driver dot switch to method. Then you have to switch to the frame by the address of it. Address is defined out here. Once you have switched, you can type on the compose area. Because this compose area is an element inside the frame, so you have to switch to the frame first. So I will not validate the compose area. You know how to validate it. I'll just write a driver dot find element by the XPath dot send keys method. What do you want to send? We are sending a test mail. Commented XPath you have to give of that compose area, and the compose area XPath is this portion. I'll take the XPath of that, or the CSS selector, whatever you wish to give. Yeah, that is the compose areas. Now you are inside the frame and you need to go out and send a mail. So this send mail is not inside the frame. Send mail is inside the main page. So you have to switch from the frame to the main page. Switch from frame to main page. Driver dot switch to dot default content, and default content is nothing but you are switching to the main page or to the page which opened first. After that, I can now validate the send mail link. This is a link, I can see that, and there's no text out here. I don't see. There's a text out here. So you can validate by the text the send mail is present or not. So validate send mail link by text. You know how to validate by text right now. So validate by attribute views subject. Validated by text. This is what we can use. Expected text of send mail. What is the expected text? Send. I'll just copy this, paste it out here. Actual, you get the X path from here. So get the X path from here. Partial X path. Then you can use expected text. Actual text. Send mail link not present. And validation is successful, then click on send mail link. So driver dot find element by the XPath dot click method. So within double quotes, this is the copy, paste it out. Click on the send mail link. Done. And after that, the tear down will happen anyways. One time tear down and one time tear down. Okay, let's run this now. So your scripting is over with an unit framework with validations. So let's run this now and build the solution. And I'm not concerned with session 16. This is hybrid framework anyways, because ours is right now hybrid framework. So session 16, some problem is there. That is not our concern. I can go to the test and go to the test explorer right now. It had failed last time. So let me run all the build errors were session 16. Continue. What is there? Continue. Let it continue. All the validations should pass for everything to work correctly. The right mail validation passes, we'll click on the right mail link. Is there a failure? I don't know, it is still running. Let it run completely. It is still running, I can see. Probably there's a thread.sleep out there. Navigates to a page, right? Yeah. So there is a problem. What is the problem? We'll see. Let's see. Timeout exception. Log in and log out from Gmail. What is this coming from? Log out, I've already. Okay. There is a problem coming. Sending mail from Gmail. At what point is the failure? Let me check it out. One not two. One not two means this one. Click on the go button. Okay, this is your setup. And okay, I'll give a thread dot sleep out here because after that the navigation happens, right? Static wait for navigation. Navigation to inbox page, which I have not given out here. That is why it is failing. So thread dot sleep. I think 10 seconds is more than enough. It navigates and then it has the test annotation. Start with manage timeout and expected and all. You can see that. Let's give a 15 seconds delay. Sometimes it opens, takes time to open up. Okay, save it, build the project. I'm not concerned with this, so don't show me this. Okay, let's go to Text Explorer. Run this. Yes, run it with the build failure. Section 16 we'll see later on. Line number 25 of section 16. Not concerned with that. So validation has passed. It'll take 10 seconds, 15 seconds to wait. Now it is passing. Well and fine. Great. So your Text Explorer has all the validation has passed. You can go to the Text Explorer and check it out. All have passed. So the failure was coming because the navigation time I had not given. That is, there's a no period of time before it ran the test annotation. That is showing you this is also in tick. Okay. Now the test order 2 will be save mail. The only change will be all these validations should be out there. Okay. The only change will be validation for instead of sending mail, we have to save. I'll copy this. I'll uncomment this. The only thing that is going to change is everything will be fine. I'm writing the save mail and all, switching to the frame, writing it out. Validation for save mail it should be. That's all change. Nothing else. So save mail, I will go out here. There's a save text. I think so. Yeah, save text. I'll copy this. Go out here. This will be save. That's the change. And this is save mail. Save mail. XPath will change. So this is the XPath of save. Copy the XPath. Go out here. Put this XPath out here. And this will be within single quotes. And the same XPath that you have given out here will be used here too for clicking. Right, and this I have to change it. Save mail, click on save mail. So this should run order number 2. Okay. And let me give a thread.sleep here also to be on a safer side. You give because there's a tear down process happening. So static wait. So what will happen after save mail? Clicking on the save mail, the logout will happen, right? The logout is part of your uh, tear down process, not one time, only tear down. Okay. So for this thread.sleep for waiting for logout in tear down annotation. The same static wait I can give for the other test annotation. This is order number 1. Send mail. Log out. And here is setup, which goes to the go button, and then again 15 minutes. So 15-second time period to go for test with order number 1, 15 seconds time period to go for test with order number 2. Automatically will happen. Okay, and then it closes the browser. So if you want to have a delay in close also, you can put up the delay in closure after the setup and tear down. So after tear down, if you give thread.sleep, one time tear down will happen after that in 5 seconds delay. So I can give thread.sleep out here so that there is a delay of 5 seconds before it goes for a one time tear down. Okay. And then after it is fine. This is your setup. One time setup is there, so I can give again a 5 seconds delay, 10 seconds delay before it goes for a one time setup, then 10 seconds delay, then setup will happen. So you'll see there is a lag in order to see it correctly. Now, the important thing to see is that the order number one should run first, send mail should run first, and then save mail. Let's see it is working like that or not. So let's go and build. What is this session 16? Bugging me. Line number, how much? What is the line number? Bloody line number is 25. In which one? Session 16 multiple inheritance.cs file. Line number, which one? Oh, this one. Okay, no, I'll comment this. Commented. Done. 16 CSC also. What is this bloody CSC? What? And comment the whole line of code in one go. The problem out here. So comment this. Or now are you fine? Test cases built. Succeeded. Now I can go to analyze. Now I'll see that save mail is running second or not. Send mail has happened first. Is this save mail? Was this save mail? Okay, so I will have a delay because I'm not able to see properly. So there will be, okay, after doing the send mail, Anyways, this one-time setup is happening once, right? This setup is I am navigating to login. I will make this thread to wait. And I also do one particular thing that after this, I'll create an alert to let me understand that if you're having send mail or not. It's not set up, right? Send mail. I'll create an alert after this. So JavaScript executor I JavaScript executor JS is equal to driver. Mm, this has to be typecast as a driver. Create an alert out here. Here start execute the script. Alert send mail. Oh, yes, escape sequence. Escape sequence send mail and handle the alert also. So I have to handle the alert. Driver dot switch to dot alert. Mm, return to alert method is a alert interface. So I alert A is equal to this. And then if you want to click, this will come with the OK button. If you want to handle the OK button, A dot accept. If you want to click on the cancel button envelope, A dot dismiss. If you want to get the text, A dot text property. Text present in the alert. Accept the alert. If you don't accept the alert, rest of the things will not happen. So I'll give a thread dot sleep after this. 10 seconds delay after the alert is handled. The same behavior I will do it for your send mail. So I can see what is running first based on the order it is running or not. This will be save mail alert. Accept it 10 seconds delay. This will be better. So let me build it first. Build succeeded. me test it. Run everything. And now I'll understand which is running first. Based on order it is running or not. Send mail is the first order. So fast it is. The alert is also not coming properly. I will not handle the alert. Let me handle it manually. Saving mail. Saving mail I can show. So it is already working in order. The only thing is that I will not handle the alert with the script. It is running in order. So what I can do is that I will not handle the alert. I will just comment it. That's all. Now why the block comment is not working, I do not know. All bullshit. Order number 2, I will handle the alert manually. Okay, let me run it now. Test and run.
Kaushik, one quick question. When it is running, when we run the script, if we interrupt that alert, something script will not break.
No, if you handle the alert, it's fine, no? It handles the alert actually automatically.
No, manual interruption. I thought it will does it will not execute the script. I thought.
No, if here I'm basically the thread.sleep bugger is also not working correctly. Why it is so fast nowadays? But I can see that the same mail is happening later on. I can see that at least. We run that. Okay, it has failed. I can see that because I have not handled the alert. Okay, so there is a failure. The setup and teardown will happen. Remember one thing: whether the test case passes or fails. 1 minute. How Venkatesh? It is telling me one particular thing that unhandled alert exception is coming. I have not handled the alert. Okay. So it is showing me that what is the problem. I have not handled the alert. For send mail and the same thing what you send mail. Send mail also is telling me that it is unhandled alert exception. So you have to handle the alert, otherwise it will show you an exception like this. So what I need to do, I have to handle alert. So if I want to get that, oh, text will be fine, right? Because it is showing me this text, same mail. I should get that text. But anyway, the text will come in the output. What can be done to, so if you look at the setup and the tear down, on the one-time setup and tear down will work irrespective of the fact that the test case passes or fails. There is another understanding. What will save me to run it a bit slow? So I will give a thread dot sleep before running this. This will be thread dot sleep before running this. Right? Okay. Thread. Hmm. There is a tear down process. So let me handle the alert also. Otherwise, you'll get unhandled alert exception. And there's a thread dot sleep after this also I'll keep. And to handle the alert right now. Order number 2. But I've seen that same mail is running second. I'm sure about that. I have seen it. Let's run this Explorer. Yeah, it is handled and it will come with your mail was sent. Send mail is happening first. Yeah, it is based on order. This is saving mail. Yeah. Okay, we've got that. So it is working in order. So everything is fine right now. You can see what is happening. Open additional output. This is the output behavior. Login into Gmail, send mail and log out. This is setup. This is your order number 1 test annotation. This is tear down. And what you can do for your sake of simplicity, since you have given in the setup and you have given the setup and tear down. Tear down you can console log out. So in the same fashion, you can give for one-time setup and one-time tear down, right? Makes life simpler for you. Initialization of the browser and closure of the browser window, then it should come, right? Where is that then? This is only giving you the behavior of log into Gmail, log out from Gmail. Okay, so this is giving you where is send mail from Gmail is also coming out here. Save mail. Oh, I have to remove this. Okay, so fine. But I wanted to check out where is the console.write line for one-time setup and one-time tear down. Initialization of browser, closing of browser. Where is that? That's not being shown. Console.writeLine for that is not shown. Only the console for WriteLine for setup and teardown is being shown. Okay. Name class. Text fixture, one-time text fixture is there. Formal control, you can have all these also. Check the attribute, login attribute, author. You can give the author name, category and all in text fixture. Text fixture is at the class level. Combine context. Controls at control space bar. Equals flag. Ignore the class. You may ignore. I'll show you how to ignore a test annotation. You don't want to run this, for example. So you can ignore this. Control space bar. You want to ignore this test annotation, right? You can use ignore. Ignore attribute, ignore class, marks and estimate test fixture or test method or text fixture or test method can be ignored. You can text fixture is used in your text fixture is used out here. This is so you can use ignore in this or you can use ignore in out here in text fixture. You can ignore this class also. See, I am right now ignoring which one?
Test method.
Text method, order number 1, that is send mail. So what is the value? Ignore attribute ignore equal to send mail. Ignoring. That's all. Send mail ignoring. And I'll run this. Build it first. This is how you ignore the test annotation. You can ignore the class also. And we'll succeeded. Run this. Now we'll see only same mail running. You run everything. You see what is running. Only save mail should happen. Send mail should not happen. It will come with a warning also. Saving mail. Send mail has not happened. Warning, send mail ignoring. That is what I had written. It comes with this warning. Okay, you can open this up. This is the warning. This is how you can ignore your test annotations. Where you write down your test cases. You can also ignore the class. You can also fix up the order for the class, I believe. There might be more than one class also, right? Yeah, you can fix up the order of the class. There might be more than one class in a particular namespace. You can order the class also with text fixture. We'll see that anyways. Okay. And that's about it for today. So what we have done is assertion and how to do ignoring and all. We have seen how to run it in order. Everything we have seen. What is next needed is that we have to create the keyword driven framework now for this. And we'll do that in the next session. And that will create the framework for you.
Kaushik, what about BDD framework?
Huh?
Kaushik, what about BDD framework, Cucumber framework?
Cucumber framework. If you are doing a hybrid framework, where you can use a Cucumber framework then? Cucumber is only for Java, not for your .NET. BDD
Yes, Kaushik, for C Sharp.
for,
In my office, for C Sharp, they are using a BDD, Kaushik. They are not using this one.
but I told
Just
you I will do a hybrid framework. Told it
fine,
before
Kaushik, no problem. Just an update, I'm telling.
what I will do is that, sir, I will send you a separate, what do you call, a write-up on SpecFlow with certain scripts. You do a reverse engineering on that. First, go through the particular SpecFlow detail. Okay, because it's like Cucumber for .NET. You go to the SpecFlow details, and then you see the scripts how I've implemented it. I think then you'll be able to understand.
Fine, Kaushik. Yeah, I'll go through it. I'll go through it, Kaushik.
Okay, so basically in Cucumber also you have to implement the same, concept of keyword driven.
Okay.
Use it. So only thing is that I'm teaching you keyword plus data driven. You will be implementing it in your SpecFlow.
Fine, Kaushik. Then yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kaushik.
yeah. Bye.